Okay.
Are you ready? 1, 2. As you guys may know, there are many different types of storage devices, such as the hard drive or the solid state drive, also known as the SSD. But did you guys know that there was another type of drive called the optical disc? And you guys probably may have used it before when you guys are playing video games or listening to music, watching a music video, etc. But do you guys know exactly what is an optical disc? What does the optical disc do? And what are the uses of the optical disc in real life? So throughout this entire video, we're going to answer these questions, and by the end of the video, we hope that you guys are going to understand more about the optical disc. No, I just toss it.
So, what are optical discs? Optical discs are flat objects that stores information and can be read through a beam of light. Optical discs are separated into 3 categories: CD, DVD, and Blu-ray. Most optical discs are used for video game storage, program storage, music storage, and movie. And I'll pass it on to Hur to explain how it works.
Have you guys ever wondered how an optical disc stores and playbacks your music, movies, or even data? Let's break it down with this part on how does it work. So, an optical disc, such as a DVD, a CD, or even a Blu-ray, is a flat and circular storage device that uses light, specifically lasers, to read and write data. The data are stored in the form of pits and lands on top of the disk surface.
When you insert a disk into a player, a laser beam shines onto the surface of the disk as the player spins the disk around. The video shown is just a big visual representation on what is actually happening when the disk is inside of the player. But in actual practice, it is much smaller than this on a microscopic level that the eyes cannot see. The pits and lands reflect light differently, creating patterns that are converted into digital signals, ones and zeros. These signals are then processed to produce sound, video, or any computer data in general. Different types of optical discs use different laser wavelengths, which directly affect their storage capacity. CDs use infrared lasers with a wavelength of 780 nanometers and typically hold 700 megabytes of data. DVDs use red lasers with a wavelength of 650 nanometers and can store 4.7 to 8.5 gigabytes. Blu-ray discs use blue violet lasers with a wavelength of 405 nanometers, allowing them to store much more, up to 25 to 50 gigabytes of data. The shorter the laser wavelength, the more data can be packed onto the disk, which is why Blu-rays hold much more data than DVDs or CDs. On the bottom of the image are the microscopic views of each type of the disk. The CD has the largest and most widely spaced data pits due to its longer laser wavelength. The DVD, using a shorter wavelength, has smaller and more densely packed pits. Finally, the Blu-ray disc, which uses the shortest wavelength, has the smallest and most tightly arranged pits. This increase in data density is what allows Blu-ray discs to store significantly more data than DVDs or CDs. Some disks are read-only memory, meaning data is permanently written during manufacturing and cannot be altered. Examples include commercial music CDs and movie DVDs. These disks are designed for playback but not for recording new data. Other disks are rewritable, such as CDs rewritables, DVD rewritables. These disks use special materials that change when heated by the laser, allowing data to be erased and rewritten multiple times. The laser alters the material between two states, enabling it to store and modify data as needed.
From music albums to games or even HD movies formats, optical discs have played a huge role into all of those big chunks data collections. Even as of today, as digital worlds continue to evolve, it still plays an important role into all of those data collection systems.
Well, what is optical disk drive is used in real life? Well, there are many locations that we can use optical disk drive, such as at home. People can use TVs or DVDs players to watch movies on DVDs or listen to music on CDs. At school or university, people like students can use the DVDs, Blu-rays or CDs to access to the internet to do their research without relying on the internet. At the hospital, people like doctors can use like Blu-rays, DVDs to store the high resolutions pictures like CT scans or X-ray. At the office, people can use optical disk drives like DVDs or Blu-rays to store their data like big files or their business files, something like that. At the data center, people use Blu-rays or DVDs or CDs to store the big files or transfers to another device without relying on the internet. Hey, Mongol, catch!
Now we can move on to the pros and cons. Let's start with the pros. What made them such a popular form of storage in the first place? Number one is their storage capacity, which they offer a sizable leap in storage size from the old floppy disk and magnetic tapes. Number two is their durability. Since they are not sensitive to electromagnetic fields, they are more durable and less prone to wear and tear than magnetic storage devices. Number three, affordability. Since they are cheap to produce, especially in bulk, this makes them viable and very accessible for consumers. However, they also have many cons as well, especially compared to our modern types of storage. Number one is their reliability. Scratches, the bane of optical discs. Get too many of them and they will leave you and go on a vacation and never come back. So you have to be really careful like a baby to them. Number two is portability. You see, discs are kind of big, even though they're thin, but they're big. And also they require a whole other device, like a player, to be able to read and write and make it useful. So this really makes it very limited in terms of portability. And number three is storage size. Compared to our modern standards, they are kind of lackluster. They only store up to about 100 gigabytes at max for a Blu-ray, while other forms of storage can store easily terabytes.
To summarize, optical discs are flat objects which store information and they are read through beams of light. And they offer advantages such as durability, affordability, and decent storage capacities, which are popular in videos, music, and data storage. While their usage is declining due to the rise of digital streamings and other better storage solutions, optical discs are not likely to disappear forever. So they remain relevant in specific sectors such as the hospitals, healthcare, and the data centers. And the advancements of the digitals will also improve the capacities and the durabilities of this type of optical discs in the future.